magic that we once believed in when we were younger that we no longer believe in because of our past experiences, because of pain, because of heartache. Hey, welcome to my channel. I have Tron right here. Say hi, Tron. He's purring away. I don't know if you can hear him. Today is a special video because I'm introducing something that I've been working on for a little bit, for almost a year already. I'm pretty excited about it. And it's time that I finally share it with you. It's dark, magical, and pretty personal. And I'm finally seeing it become real, even though it's still pretty far from being a physical product. I can see it starting to take shape. It is my new tarot deck. I've done 2 decks before, a dragon companions deck, a dog and a cat communication tarot deck, and this new deck is a unicorn companions deck. A tarot deck made for dreamers and shadow seekers. A dark unicorn tarot deck is coming. This hand-painted deck has an eerie gothic vibe, full of mossy greens, deep violets, and the wisdom of unicorns that live in the shadows. It's for those who are ready to explore their fears, buried dreams, and the emotional truth through tarot. I'll be sharing my creative process along the way, the messy painting moments, the card meanings, and all of the magic. Early supporters will get access to exclusive bonuses like original artworks and prints. Do you want first access? Currently, a free wallpaper is available when you sign up. Link in comments. My dragon deck was very friendly, approachable dragons. Whimsical watercolors. The dragons were approachable, friendly, light watercolor artwork. And this unicorn deck is going to be different. It's going to be more eerie. It's going to be not like any unicorn deck you've ever seen before. At least nothing that I've come across. It's eerie, it's enchanting. It's a deck made for deep shadow work, for those who want to explore their fears, deeper, more uncomfortable emotions, releasing those emotions, hidden desires, dreams. So I'm really enjoying the process of creating this deck and the artwork that goes to this deck. I'm going to share more about the process and how I do this. My full process from idea to sketch to painting to writing the descriptions for the cards to creating the cards, getting them published, the painting, the channeling, card writing, and of course you're invited to follow along and watch the journey and see some behind the scenes of making a tarot deck. I will be posting everything on this YouTube channel, so be sure to subscribe. Since this is my introduction video, I want to just start with my first steps in creating a tarot deck. The very first thing is to get really clear on how I want the deck to feel, or how I want the person using the deck to feel when they are using it. How I want the art to make them feel or encourage them to feel, the path that I want the user to experience. And I think about the feelings that I want this unicorn deck to bring. In this case, I want it to be very emotional. I want it to connect to those deep, raw, uncomfortable emotions. A shadow deck. A deck that you use when you want to work through your shadows, when you want to heal your shadows or explore those fears that you may have. I also think about a color palette, the aesthetics of the deck. For this deck, I've chosen moody colors, purple, dark purples, dark greens, dark blues, blacks, to be the majority of the colors in my deck. Sometimes I'll sit and meditate or just kind of try and feel the energy, see what wants to come through, what insights or feelings I'll receive when I'm thinking about this deck. I always want to draw inspiration from traditional tarot art, keep a lot of symbolism from the traditional cards because I think that they are important. All of my decks have used the art from each card in the traditional deck as a guideline, but I also want to understand the symbolism and why it is in each card, what it means, how it makes me feel, and how I want to incorporate that symbolism into my own deck. So it's more than just the meanings behind the cards, it's the art in the cards that I want to consider. each individual card separately and then the deck as a whole. Once I kind of have the feel of the deck and I have the color palette, I like to draw the cards before I do write the meanings for the cards. And I'll sketch every single card, all 78, before I start painting any of the cards. So I consider what symbolism I want in the cards, in addition to the traditional symbolism. For this deck, I've gone with ravens, bats, gothic architecture, kind of like enchanted forests. I also wanted to do roses, even though red doesn't fit my color palette. I wanted to have deep, dark red roses throughout the deck. So I kind of just create a list of all these things that I want the deck, the feelings, the symbolism, my own symbolism that I want to have throughout the deck. So I see the deck as a whole picture before I work on each individual card. When it's time to work on each individual card, I will do a sketch of that card. I'll, as I mentioned, take inspiration from the traditional artwork. For each card, I'll create a list of 4 or 5 keywords for that card, what that card symbolizes, to use as guidance and inspiration when I am sketching the card, just so I get an idea of the energy of the card. And these keywords for each card are from the traditional meanings and card descriptions. So for example, let's look at the first card in the major arcana, the Fool. The Fool is a call to leap into the unknown. This card invites you to release the heavy stories that you've carried and allow your buried dreams to breathe. The Fool opens the portal to the inner rebirth, raw, untamed, and unashamed. Trust in your instincts even if the path is invisible. Fear of starting over, self-sabotage, a denial of potential, you may cling to the past out of comfort, even if it's killing your joy. What part of you is afraid of being seen in your truest form? This is my description for the Fool. I created these descriptions after I've completed each sketch, so I'll do the sketches first and then I'll write the card meanings. And as I mentioned, I wanted the descriptions, the card meanings, to really emphasize shadow work, heavy, hard emotions. Let's look at the Wheel of Fortune. A turning point arrives. This card reminds you that cycles are sacred and nothing is permanent. Allow the wheel to move. What's rising may be exactly what you buried long ago. Resistance to change, repeating old patterns, or a feeling of stuckness. You may be trying to control fate out of fear. What would it mean to trust the flow of your life? I want this deck to be for a person that may have felt stuck in old wounds, if they want to use tarot for emotional healing, for someone who really wants to uncover the truth and use that truth for transformation, to uncover more uncomfortable truths so that you can create change. I am a Scorpio rising, and I feel like this deck is really bringing out that Scorpio rising energy, and if this deck had a zodiac sign, it would be Scorpio. I really wanted to use unicorns. I usually am drawn more to dragons, but I do really love horses, and as a little girl I used to be really obsessed with horses. Not as much unicorns. When it comes to like mythical creatures, I was definitely more drawn to dragons, which is probably why I did my dragon deck first. But with a love of horses, of course, I'm going to be drawn to unicorns as well. I wanted to do a little bit of research into unicorns as a mystical creature, their symbolism. Doing research on the topics of the deck I think is really important. When I did my dragon deck, all of the major cards are actually based on different stories from different cultures around the world that have myths and legends about dragons, which I had a lot of fun reading about and learning about. It was really hard to pick which myths I actually wanted to choose, and there were so many. So many different cultures had different stories about dragons. But looking into unicorns, the mythology, the folklore, the symbolism, there are a lot of layers of meaning when it comes to unicorns. Unicorn-like creatures were first noticed in drawings, in artwork, in Mesopotamia. They were in early texts, during this time period, and they were shown as more wild, not the gentle kind of white pure unicorns that we typically think of, which I found super interesting and made me excited to also show this more wild side of unicorns, ones that could really work with your shadows. Greek historians in the 4th century BCE described unicorns as wild beasts, fierce, untamable, and really hard to catch. In medieval Europe, unicorns became more of a Christian symbol, one of purity, virginity, or Christ consciousness. Unicorns in artwork were often seen laying their head in a virgin's lap, a symbol of a divine being or a pure heart. So over time, unicorns became less wild and untamed to more pure. But they've always been an animal that kind of symbolized transformation, and a very exclusive animal, one that only comes to those that are worthy or those that are spiritually attuned. So unicorns are exclusive, they're special, they're rare. They can really symbolize a hidden aspect of ourselves, which I think is perfect in what I'm trying to do with this deck. Expose parts of ourselves that we have hidden from ourselves because they are more uncomfortable. Those shadows, those things we try to hide, bury deep down. Dreams we've buried, innocence we've lost. Magic that we once believed in when we were younger that we no longer believe in because of our past experiences, because of pain, because of heartache. The unicorn horn also has special significance. It's been seen as a symbol of power, intuition, purification. Sometimes it's believed to hold poison or some sort of lie, which makes it a tool of truth, a tool of soul healing. I hope that by reconnecting with the unicorn, we can reconnect with parts of ourselves. So I hope you enjoyed this introduction to my new deck and a little bit of the creation process, how the very first steps into creating this deck. So please follow this channel, like this video if you are interested in this deck, knowing when pre-orders are open and getting some exclusive bonuses and some magical extras. Sign up for my newsletter. You can receive things like original artwork or prints, discounts, coupons when this deck is for sale. Check the description in this video if you're interested in signing up for that newsletter. It's also great if you just want updates and want to know when I have posted a new video on YouTube, updating you on the process of this tarot deck. Right now I have a free wallpaper that already has some art that has been created for this deck. So if you want to grab that wallpaper for either mobile or desktop, tablet, you can do that at the link in the description. I'll put it in the comments as well. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.